What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the fourth quarter podcast. You know what I'm saying? You got your boy Ken, and obviously me. You did. Kenny, how you feeling, Brody?
Feeling good, man. How you feeling, man?
I feel good. It's beautiful weather, starting to warm up. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a hot weather guy. Like I like summer over winter, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like I don't like the cold too much. Um we've been going a week, you know what I'm saying? My boy Kenny had took a little vacation, so we had to take a little pause, but we back now. We here, and we got some interesting topics for y'all today. Ain't really been going on too much in the sports world other than what we about to discuss. But on today's agenda, we got the logo. So we want to ask y'all, or like we're going to discuss it amongst ourselves, and then we're going to ask y'all. Like, so I know y'all been seeing floating around with the Kyrie Irving thing. What y'all feel about Kobe Bryant, RIP, being the NBA's new logo? If y'all know me and been following the podcast, y'all already know how I feel about it. And surprisingly, a lot of other people and players have, feel the same. Secondly, then we're gonna move over to I don't know if y'all seen this as well, but PJ Tucker is unhappy that he has yet to be traded to a contender for a championship, and he's currently not playing. So we're gonna jump into that a little bit, and then to end off today's episode, we're gonna talk about the contract that Dak Prescott just received from the Cowboys. And I know this has been a while since this happened, but Carson Wentz being traded to Kenny's team, the Colts. So that's today's episode. So we're gonna jump right into it. And I'm gonna let Kenny go first on this one because like I said, y'all already know how I feel about this. But Kenny, how you feel about Kobe being the new NBA logo?
I'm flexible. I mean, I was talking to my dad about it yesterday. I'm flexible with who they put on the logo. I just want to know the criteria. What's the requirements? Because obviously Jerry West right now he's the logo, and he's not a top five, top 10 player. So it's obvious that the requirements isn't that you have to be one of the best. Like, so I'm like, what's the requirements? We understand what Kobe stood for, Mamba mentality, hard worker, and all that. And I don't have a problem with Kobe being it. I wouldn't have a problem with the logo being Michael Jordan either. I mean, I'm interested in I wouldn't mind Kobe being it. I just don't want us to have Kobe as the logo because he's deceased. Because my dad I was talking to my father about it yesterday, and he was saying pretty much the only reason that people are talking about it is because he's deceased. Like Michael Jordan is alive right now. If he became deceased, God forbid, we'd probably talk about him being the logo as well. So I'm fine with Kobe Bryant being the logo, like I said, for what he stood for, hard worker. We already know his accomplishments. We already know what time he was on. We know what he did. We pretty much know nobody wanted to win more than him. So I understand that stuff. I just don't want us to put him as the logo because he's deceased. I don't even think Kobe would want that. And I don't even think Kobe would want that. But what I do know is I'd rather Kobe Bryant be the logo than Jerry West. I do know that. My dad was telling me, like, so I guess Jerry West's been the logo since 1950, 1940 or whatever. He's been the logo for so long. My dad was telling me that they didn't want to make anybody black the logo back then, that back so far back in the day. So, we're in a new time. We're in a new time zone. So to answer your question, I wouldn't mind Kobe being the logo. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Um, well, obviously, I know how I feel. One thing I will want to say, I mean, I do want to say, is that there were talks before he passed about him being the logo. You probably didn't see it because it was kind of like it wasn't heavy talks how it is now because he is deceased. But yeah, there were talks before about changing it to I remember the picture and everything. It was one of his like famous fadeaway post fade janks, and there were talks about it before. Excuse me. I actually have mixed feelings about the deceased thing. Like I kind of feel like you don't do it just because he passed away. But then again, I feel like it would be a true tribute to all he has done for the game. So I kind of look at it as, yeah, that's kind of messed up. But then again, like let's reward him and his family and his friends and people that look up to him for all his accomplishments, and like give a little motivation that this could be you one day. Because on the back end of Kobe's career, that kind of who he was. He was a teacher, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I looked at him at least. So I feel like players are really appreciate that, and his family for that matter as well. And going back to what you said about Jerry West, I 100% agree. And I mean, we know who Kobe is: 5-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, 1-time league MVP, 81 point score, second most in history. I don't even want to get into everything, but you know who you is when you're dealing with Kobe. So that's something I definitely would love to see, and it would probably honestly bring tears to my eyes if something like that did happen. Um, but if I'm being 100% honest, I don't think it's going to happen. But just to end off this subject, I definitely think it should, and it would be very nice to see. But moving on, we just like I said, we just want to touch on that quickly, briefly. Moving on to Houston forward PJ Tucker. He is currently unhappy with the circumstance he's in right now. He's still currently playing for Houston. They're doing terrible, and he basically wants to get out of that situation. And I don't blame him. There's been talks that the Lakers wanted him, the Nets want him, which they probably don't now since they got Blake Griffin, but they'll probably still take him just because they know they're gonna need some power to beat the Lakers, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, the Nets, the Clippers. So he's probably sitting back wondering, like, hey, front office, what are y'all doing? Why am I still a Houston Rocket when it's people that want me? Like, what's going on? Y'all need to make this happen. The way I feel about it is basically what I just said. If I was him, I would feel the same way. James Harden is gone. Chris Paul is gone. Russ is gone. I don't want to play with James Harden, and we just lost 14 games straight. I want to leave. So I understand where he's coming from. Hopefully, he comes to us, the Lakers. That is, for those who don't know who I'm a fan of, that would help us a lot. Um, but just all in all, I would love to see him leave that situation when he still got, because he's already old, but I feel like he still got a couple like helpful years left in the tank. So I would probably be saying the same thing as he is. Like, let me go while I'm still got some, before he end up like Kevin Love, who's basically just a general manager, assistant coach for the Cavs. But that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I don't blame him for wanting to leave. I mean, what player wants to stay on the same team and get their ass whooped? I mean, and he's used to winning. He's a winner. He's used to winning. So just imagine winning. Just imagine winning, and then you start to get your ass whooped. I mean, I would imagine it's not a good feeling. So I don't blame him for wanting to go to a team that's going to contend for a championship. That's pretty normal. I mean, I don't know if he'll get what he wants, but the Rockets, the general manager and the owner, they did send James Harden where he wanted to go. So let's think about that as well. So maybe they'll send Tucker where he wants to go. I would like to see Tucker on the Nets. He's a great defender. He's a great defender, and I feel like he'll help them a lot because the Nets, let's just say they're going to make the championship. They might or they might not. But let's just say they play the Lakers in the championship. Let's just go with the favorites. Joe Harris and Kyrie Irving, they're not good defenders. It's plain and simple, simple and plain. They're gonna make Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris play defense. The Lakers. So the Lakers will be able to take advantage of Joe Harris and Kyrie Irving. So if you take Joe Harris out and put PJ Tucker in, PJ Tucker, you're not going to really be able to take advantage of him. I mean, he's a great defender. Yeah, I'm willing to say he's a great defender, and he's a good shooter as well. Obviously, he don't shoot the ball like Joe Harris. Joe Harris is probably the best shooter in the NBA. But as we know, PJ Tucker, spot up shooting, Clay is gone. Spot up.
I wouldn't even. Not based on this year. This year alone, if you're talking about this season, then yeah. But I'll take Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan. Yeah, it's arguable. You have Duncan Robinson. You have JJ Redick. You have other guys that are in there, but I'm just saying it's arguable. You could argue.
Yeah, just have.
So yeah, I think the Nets should get PJ Tucker to add defense. I understand they added Blake Griffin, but he's not in his prime. He's about 45 years old. Even when he was in his prime, I never really heard anybody say Blake Griffin was a great defender, even when he was in his prime. And they don't need Blake Griffin for offense. I mean, I hear them saying he's gonna be a small ball center, but he's about 6'8". I mean, I don't even think he's a great rebounder. So Blake Griffin, thanks. I don't think he'll help too much. And when we say thanks, we're being sarcastic for the new viewers. When we say thanks, I'm saying thanks. Blake Griffin's not going to do much for you. So I think the Nets should get PJ Tucker because they're going to have to. they're not going to be a great defensive team, maybe. But if you add PJ Tucker, if you take Joe Harris out towards the end of the game and you put PJ Tucker in, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. And
Why don't you want to see him in LA?
I just feel like he won't help y'all much.
What you mean? We need defense. We need another shooter. LeBron, he take all the shooters he can get and defense.
Well, I feel like defense is like the Nets' weakness. I feel like he could help them more. And I would like to see him with Mike D'Antoni, his former coach. I would like to see him with James Harden. They've already played together. And I would like to see him with Jeff Green as well. They already played together. So they're familiar there.
I get what you're saying. But yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you just said. I don't want him to go there. I just feel like teams come together. Like let's beat LeBron and the Lakers. Like let's do it. Like Blake Griffin, it was a report that came out right after he got signed saying like I wanted to come here because I want to know what winning feels like or something like that. It's like, so you passed up on one of the greatest winners ever in LeBron to go play with these guys.
Right.
But I mean, hey, everybody throw shots at LeBron until it's all said and done, man. So we just gonna see how the chips fall, and we gonna go from there. But yeah, I definitely would like to see PJ Tucker get out of the situation that he's in. I don't know if they look at him as like, well, you're not James Harden, so we're not gonna, move as fast as you want. But PJ Tucker has been a key piece since he's been there. So I feel like give the man some damn respect.
Right. I agree. PJ Tucker he's a very good role player. Great defender, and he can make the open three. I mean, 3 and D. That's what they say. That's what they call it, 3 and D. He's a great 3 and D.
Great at that. So it's like 1 second.
Yeah, so Demir got some food he about to go get, and then we're gonna talk about Dak Prescott. He got that huge contract that he should not have got. Why would you pay Dak Prescott all that money? Why would you pay him all this money to get what, 8 wins? That's probably what the Cowboys gonna get. They paid him all that money to get 8 wins. It wouldn't surprise me if they get 6 wins, but I'm gonna wait for Demir to come back, and we're gonna talk about Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott.
All right, we back. I don't know if Kenny told y'all, but I did give me some delicioso, some Mexican food right outside of the base that I'm currently on. You know what I'm saying? For the new viewers out there who don't know, I am in the military. And most military installations do not do stuff like, DoorDash. And so you only get like your basic pizza, like Domino's, stuff like that. But I just learned that this Mexican place does deliver on base. And I had to take advantage of the opportunity, but I'm gonna wait until the video is over to devour this. But I heard Kenny giving y'all a little insight on what's next to come, which is the Dak Prescott thing. I'm not going to sit here and cap for the internet. You know what I'm saying? I've never been one of those Dak haters. I actually see a lot of potential in him. To me, he's a good quarterback. Not great. He's a good quarterback. Do I think he got overpaid? Yes. And do I think it's because he has his brother, which is, I think, is his manager in his ear telling him what he's worth? And I don't want to, I don't want to get up here and say, obviously, don't shoot for your dreams. Don't ask for what you think you're worth. But let's kind of be honest here. You're not a Pat Mahomes. You're not a Tom Brady. You're not a Russell Wilson. So I just feel like, yeah, you can think you're great, but don't shoot yourself in the foot, because if Jerry Jones didn't sign you, it's like, okay, what's next? Because I don't think any other team will be willing to do that for you. And that's just me being completely honest. I'm a Bears fan, and first off, we don't even have the money to do that. Secondly, we are in desperate need of a quarterback, and I don't think we would have gave you what Jerry Jones just gave you. So I feel like sometimes you have to be a little bit smarter, but hey, he got it. And I'm happy for him because I do like him, and I hope that he can recover from this injury and do great things with the Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for him too, and I do think he got overpaid. But hey, I mean, if I got a job, if my job is willing to overpay me, I would accept the money as well. So I don't blame him from taking the money. I mean, who wouldn't take extra money? I mean, I don't even think he honestly believes that he's worth all that money, because he's getting Patrick Mahomes money, and I hope he doesn't think he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it is good to be confident, but there's a difference
Have to
between
be realistic as well.
Right, exactly. It's a difference between being confident and being crazy out your goddamn mind. And he has gotten a lot of stats or whatever. I mean, one year he threw for almost 5,000 yards. I understand that. So I understand the stats. So he's probably looking at the stats and saying, this is why I should get this big contract because of the numbers that I'm putting up. But if you really think about it, let's forget all the stats for a second here. Let's forget all the stats. How how long has he been the quarterback? How many years?
Like 4, I want to say.
5 seasons if you count this year, but he got injured for the rest of the year this year. But if you count this season, it's a total of 5 seasons that he's been starting since Tony Romo. So 5 seasons. What has he done far as wins?
Yeah, I was about to say they haven't made playoffs, right?
They might have made playoffs, but he has zero playoff wins. As far as to my knowledge, he has zero playoff wins. So 5 seasons, zero playoff wins. What have you done, Dak Prescott, to deserve all this money other than put up stats? It's not all about stats. It's about winning as well. So he got all that money and he doesn't really do much as winning. And his team hasn't always been horrible. I know this past season the defense was bad and the offensive line isn't what it used to be. I do understand that. And Zeke isn't what he used to be to me, but some people still think Zeke is all that. But
Number
I
two
do
quarterback in
understand.
the league.
Huh?
Number two running back in the league.
So there you go. So according to the mirror, Dak Prescott has the second best running back in the league. And it's like he still hasn't done much. He still hasn't done much. And I understand people are going to say, well, the defense isn't good. The defense sucks. He can't do it all. I understand he can't do it all. But what happened? What was going on when they did have a good defense? They used to have a good defense about 2 seasons ago. They had the best offensive line for one of those seasons. They had the best offensive line for one of those seasons. And when Zeke was at his best, he was the best running back. So you had the best running back at one point. You had the best offensive line at one point, and you still didn't win a playoff game. So I don't want to hear no excuses because when the team was fitted good around you, he didn't win a playoff game. If you're on offense, you have the best offensive line, you have the best running back. Ellie, I'm talking about when Zeke led the league in rushing or whatever. He still didn't win a playoff game. So what more do you want? And I understand you have special teams and defense, but in 2019, their defense was pretty good. 2019, 2018, their defense was pretty good. So Dak, I don't know what else you want. But now you getting all this god doggone money, Dak. I don't care if your defense sucks or not. When you getting paid all this money, you got to figure out a way to win. You got to figure out a way to win.
Yeah, so they have made to the playoffs. I'll probably be exaggerating there, but he's played in 3 playoff games and winning just 1 so far in his career.
Say that one more time for the people.
Dak Prescott has played 3 playoff games and only won 1, single in his career out of 3. And he's been the quarterback for 5 years, which is not a lot. So I don't want to see you people give him time. Like Kenny just said, it's been years where they had I don't even want to say solid because I feel like they had a good team, good on defense, good on offense, line, running back, and they still couldn't get the job done. So, and that's what I mean too. And I get what you're saying, Kenny, where you saying like if your job gonna throw you extra money, you'll take it. I understand that because I'm the same way, but you don't feel like you can do the job the CEO is doing. So don't ask for the money that the CEO is receiving, correct? So if you don't think you're Patrick Mahomes, you shouldn't be asking for Patrick Mahomes money. An MVP and a Super Bowl winner just came of a second Super Bowl. It was an ass whooping, but he just went. So it's like if you're not doing those type of things, I don't want you asking for that type of money. So now, I mean, I don't know how hard he had to push for that contract, which I think will be pretty hard because this isn't the first time that there's been contract talks and they finally just got a deal done. So I'm assuming they just didn't say, here, Dak, take this money. I feel like he was begging for this. So I'm kind of like you, sorry team or not, make the playoffs because his division was the worst division in football last year. One of the worst division I've ever probably seen in my watching sports years. I'm only 24, so I haven't seen too much, but since I've been watching football, that whole division was terrible.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
if I was a commissioner or the owner or whatever, the owner of the NFL, none of y'all making playoffs. I'm gonna grab another team from a different division to take one of y'all spot because that's bad. Y'all was free win for anybody who played them, which in that case was the Buccaneers that you like to bring up, but it's not the Buccaneers' fault. They all suck.
yeah. So the NFC East. That's where the Cowboys are. They're in the NFC East. So I'm gonna just look at I'm looking at the standings right now. The Washington Redskins won the NFC East. They went 7-9. They were first place in the NFC East. I repeat, the Redskins were 7-9. The Giants went 6-10. The Cowboys went 6-10. The Eagles went 4-11, and the motherfuckers had a tie. So the Eagles went 4-11-1. So pretty much, Dak, to make the playoffs, you don't have to get 10 to 12 wins, Dak. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say all you have to do is go 500. You're getting great money, but all you have to do to make the playoffs is be even. So you should be able to do that. To me,
Especially with you play half the teams of your division multiple times, or all the teams of your division multiple times, or is it either half or all? I don't know,
they
but
play them twice.
yeah. So you should be able to beat them, right? The
Yeah,
Eagles just lost Wentz, which we're about to talk about. The Giants, Daniel Jones, thank you. The football team. That's all I have to say is the football team. Y'all, that's self-explanatory. And then y'all can't beat them.
pretty much. Pretty much the Cowboys, they could get 6 wins just by playing teams in their division, which they probably should do.
Literally. So I'm baffled by that, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. If they don't make playoffs, it should be a way they can take that money back. Because
They have not to cut you off though. Not to cut you off. He has a great receiving core.
as well, yeah.
Amar Amari Cooper. What's
CD
the
Lamb.
yeah. CD Lamb, and I like Gallup. I think Gallup is a very underrated receiver. That's how I feel.
I do as well.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Cowboys games because I love to see them. They usually have close games, so I watch the Cowboys a lot. And Gallup is very good, and I would like to see Zeke get back to his shape how he was. And but yeah, he has a good offensive team, so he should put up big numbers. But we can move on to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz.
I agree. Yeah, so moving on. Kenny, this is definitely a big question for you. How do you feel with that being your favorite team?
Yes, the Colts is my favorite team. Originally, I'm not gonna lie. I would have rather Phillip Rivers stayed because Phillip Rivers just did pretty good with us. I mean, we made the playoffs. He had a good year. We made the playoffs. We almost beat one of the best teams in the NFL in the playoffs. We lost to the Bills, which the Bills is a great team. We almost beat them, so I wouldn't have minded to see Phillip Rivers come back. He's not scared to throw the ball. Obviously, he's not mobile at all. I could beat Phillip Rivers in a race. I understand he's not mobile, but he was a veteran quarterback, and I felt confident in him throwing the ball. I mean, like I said, I understand he's not mobile, but I'm fine without quarterbacks being mobile if I'm very confident in your throwing. And I was very confident in Phillip Rivers throwing. But to talk about Carson Wentz, I mean, I don't think he's all that. But what I will say is he's better than who we had at quarterback, which is Jacoby Brissett. I think he's better than Jacoby Brissett. I'm not too sold on Carson Wentz, but we'll see how he does. I mean, he's the younger quarterback. He's the more mobile quarterback. He has something to prove. He's playing with an old coach of his. So let's see how it goes. I mean, we don't need him to come to the Colts and be Superman. We need him to hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. Throw this doggone ball to T.Y. Hilton. Throw this ball to Pascal. We just need you to not fuck this up because we have a great offensive line. We have a pretty good defense. We have solid receivers. So we don't need him to put the team on his back. We need him to just play smart, play good football, don't do anything stupid, and don't make football complicated. Football isn't rocket science. So I just want him to come in and just keep it basic.
I can agree with that. Just being a football fan, a fan of the game. Eagles fans are hurt. They were sold on Wentz. I ain't gonna lie. I never really saw it. I'm like I think if Nick Foles wouldn't have been there, they probably wouldn't have won the Super Bowl in my opinion if Carson would have played the full game. That's just me, but against the Patriots. But I'm not really a big Wentz guy. He hasn't showed me the it factor yet. So, but I guess let's see with a whole different new environment, new organization. I'm I'm not I wouldn't say I'm not rooting for him. Like I hope he does well, but I'm not sold on him. Like I have a lot of friends that say, "Oh, Carson this, Carson that." I see a lot of Eagles fans hurt that he left, and so I don't know what they saw, but we'll see. Because to give them the benefit of the doubt, though, that organization, the Eagles, like that's a weird organization. And then like his receiving core wasn't too good either. I mean, the names, you see the names, it's like, yeah, but then when you find out they only play 2 games due to injury every single season, then it's like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, me and you had this conversation about Deshaun Jackson. He's a good receiver, but him being available, that goes into how good of a receiver you are or can be if you're never available. So, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt about that, but they had a solid team as well until Alshon and him kept getting hurt. And then that's another thing. He's been pretty banged up himself, so hopefully he can come back 100 for you guys and start off fresh and move on from there. But I'm curious to see how well he does. But I think it was a good pickup by you guys. I'm with you. I'd rather Phillip Rivers stay, but if he hanging it up, then between him and Brissett, yeah, then I'll take Wentz.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have too many options. I mean, obviously, I would rather have Deshaun Watson, but you don't always get what you want in life. So I just wanted to mention that. I mean, that's obvious though. Who wouldn't want to have Deshaun Watson? I mean, yeah, I mean, I almost want to say no. I was about to say I'd rather have Jameis Winston than him, but I don't want to go too far. But yeah, he was the best we could get right now.
Jameis is not bad, man. He got a bad rep. You better check your sheets. He throw them bombs.
Yeah, he's decent. He's decent, but he's decent. The reason I say that is because Jameis Winston, he's not scared to throw that damn ball, but he turned that bitch over. Jameis Winston, he would turn that bitch over. So I don't like turning the ball over. Obviously, nobody likes turning the ball over, but I'm big on turnovers. And Jameis Winston, obviously, if you know about Jameis Winston, you know he turns that bitch over.
30 for 30.
Yep.
If y'all don't know what that means, he threw in one season 30 touchdowns, 30 picks. I don't know if it was 30 exactly, but it was like 31 to 34 picks, something like that. But yeah, I will agree. I mean, that's kind of a good thing, but obviously when you throwing 30 of them, it's not. But I kind of look at, trusting your receivers as a good attribute. Like Kenny stated, he's not scared to, let it fly. Now, when I say throw bombs, they either gonna be touchdowns or they're gonna be coming back the other way. I mean, that's just the reality of how Jameis plays. But I hope the Saints give him a shot. Don't look too bright for him over there. Um, I don't know if Drew staying or not. Ben Roethlisberger, it's just a lot of these teams that are doing time and service over. I want to actually win because that's why I'm glad Phillip Rivers kind of hung it up, even though he did better than those two that I just named. Well, not necessarily because they made it further in the playoffs, I guess, well, not being, but I think that's what they need to do, follow after Rivers' footsteps and just hang it up. But we'll see what happens with the Steelers and the Saints, man. It'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for the NFL season to start back. The Buccaneers, it seems like they're going to be able to bring all their free agents back. They just extended Tom Brady another year, it looks like.
Franchise tag Godwin and then sign Levante David.
Yeah, and it looks like they about to sign Shaquille Barrett again too. So it looks like they're bringing all their key pieces back. And about 2 weeks ago, I heard a little bit of chatter about them getting Odell. A little bit of chatter, just a little bit. I didn't hear a big chatter, but I heard a little bit of chatter about Odell wanting to go play with. I guess he wants to play with Brady.
Oh, wow. I got to look into that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, he would have to take a pay cut, I think. But yeah,
Oh, yeah. They barely get what they got. So that's surprising to me that they've been like giving that some thought. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll find a way to make it work and just give y'all more excuses to say why Brady not the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But you got anything else on the topics we discussed?
Nah, that's about all. It's not much to talk about right now, but we just wanted to touch bases on these things. They're not big topics, but they're topics that we wanted to talk about.
Most def, most def. Hope y'all doing well out there, man. Putting your mask on. Like I always tell y'all though, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe and share with your friends because this is the best sports podcast on YouTube, and we back after a week of being gone. And look for the next video soon, man. We out.